This Rugged Ridge Nautic 12,500 pound winch with synthetic line is for anyone with a 1987 and up Wrangler that are looking for a very high quality and waterproof winch. Now that's what the Nautic series is all about from Rugged Ridge. This has some additional X bracing on the inside of it to make it even stronger than the original Rugged Ridge series of winch, and this solenoid pack is IP67 rated, so whether you're dunking it under the water, under the mud, or you're just driving around in the rain, you know that you're not going to have any issues with water affecting that solenoid pack. This is going to be a very strong, very well built and robust winch, and it has that synthetic line on it, which is something that you pay a premium for, but is something that is well worth it in my opinion. This synthetic line is going to be lighter weight and easier to drag up and down hills when you're actually using it for recovery, but probably more importantly, this synthetic line is going to be safer than a steel line. While synthetic line will stretch just like steel line will, it doesn't store that energy inside of it. So when the synthetic line snaps, it just falls to the ground harmlessly, where a steel line will snap back and can hit somebody causing injury or hit a vehicle causing additional damage. So again, synthetic line is definitely going to be safer. You do pay a premium for it and it requires a little bit more maintenance, but in my mind, it is well worth it for that additional safety and the additional usability. As far as construction goes, again, this is going to be a very well-built winch. This is designed to have a pulling capacity of 12,500 pounds, which is at the upper range that you'll see on most Jeeps. So even if you do have a big, heavy, four-door JK with lots of armor, you plan on getting it buried up to the axles in mud, you're still going to be able to pull yourself out with this winch. The general rule of thumb is that you want your winch pulling capacity to be 1.5 times the trail weight of your Jeep. So again, 12.5 is going to be over top of that and going to work for almost any Jeep out there in any scenario. This is going to be waterproof, as we said before, so when you mount the solenoid pack right up on top of the winch or over here on the drum of the winch, you are going to be able to leave it out in the front of the Jeep, not necessarily have to cover it, worry about keeping water, mud off of it, because it is going to be nice and sealed up. Of course, a lot of people do like to remotely mount that solenoid. It's always an option for you if you want to, just to keep it out of the weather even further. The winch does come with a very well built and very substantial feeling remote that does have a 12-foot cord on it. I mentioned substantial feeling because a lot of the cheap winches on the market, they give you really plasticky, cheap feeling remote control, and that's something that can fail on you, can break, leaving the winch pretty much useless to you when you're on the trail. This is something that does feel like it's going to hold up and continue working for you over a good long time. Getting this winch installed is like installing any other winch. It's going to be a pretty simple bolt-on 1 out of 3 wrench installation that shouldn't take you more than an hour to complete, even with the wiring that's involved with installing a winch. So you'll set the winch in place on your bumper or on your winch mounting plate, bolt it down, and from there installing the solenoid pack onto the winch body itself and wiring the solenoid pack to the winch body. You'll have 2 leads that come off of the winch that are going to have to go up to the battery. Run those 2 leads along the inner fender up to the battery and making your connection there. That's really all there is to installing a winch. Of course, you will need that winch ready bumper or that winch mounting plate on a non-winch bumper, but once you have that, it's just a matter of installing the 4 bolts that hold the winch to that mounting point. This Nautic winch is going to run you right around $650, and I do think that's a pretty good deal for what you're getting. You are going to have that additional cross bracing, you're going to have the waterproof solenoid pack, and you're getting a synthetic line that pulls up to 12,500 pounds, which are all features that make this very much worth the cost. There are other winches on the market that have lower pulling capacity, don't have the synthetic line, aren't waterproof, that are more expensive than this one is. Now, if you're somebody who's going to be going out there hitting the trails every single weekend, you're going to be doing a lot of really long, hard pulls, maybe you want to spend a little bit more on one of those premium winches that does have some additional features. However, for what most of us use our Jeeps for, this is going to be more than enough and a good buy. So if you're looking for a very strong waterproof winch, I definitely recommend taking a look at the Nautic series from Rugged Ridge that you can find right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.